Stephen Cloobeck, take our hand, lead us to the promised land. California, California, get a clue. Stephen Cloobeck is the guy for you. Stand a chair, this is your cue. Stephen Cloobeck will pull us through.
Welcome to Hard Truths, Stephen J. Cloobeck. Again, we're going to have a lot of fun. The show's always about my dear friends coming on. And today we have a dear friend who I met about 5 years ago, Cari Champion. And she's got so many beautiful stories that I want to hear about today. That some maybe we've talked about, we're going to share, but there's no notes here. As you know, this is all organic. And it's Hard Truths, and that's what we're here to talk about. So, Cari, we met during COVID, and we were going to film this little sizzle reel to help people out that were in need. It was a feel-good show.
It was.
We didn't even know each other. We were put together with Jason Kennedy, a good friend of ours. And I remember meeting him. I said, wow, this woman's a dynamo.
Oh, yay. I appreciate it.
She was like, who is this woman? You're so larger than life.
Yay.
And I remember we were walking around my house with Bill Rancic. Bill Rancic was there.
He was, Bill.
And we made him very uncomfortable really quickly because you and I seemed to hit it off. And what do you think? You thought I was a handful?
Well, yeah. If anyone spends 5 minutes with you, they understand that you are a lot. And a lot in the best of ways, because there is this... We live in a world today where everyone thinks before they talk. And I understand that that's something we should do. That's an etiquette, but you're very unfiltered, but in a way that is respectful. And it is, and I can understand there is an authenticity about you where I understand that's just truly who you are. I think that's probably why you've been a successful businessman. But the first thing that I thought, I pull up into this palatial home, and I'm like, okay, what's happening beyond the gates when I get here? And I walk in and I think, what a beautiful, beautiful home. Just gorgeous, to the point where you're just like, but when you get in homes like that, you feel like sometimes it feels unlived in. It felt very lived in. And I don't know if you remember this. You were taking us on a tour, and it was Bill and I, maybe Jason had been there. I don't know if Jason was on this tour, but I'm walking around and you had this portrait that was in your office that was really big. And during that time, it was like, in terms of, it was large. It covered almost a wall in your office. And it was so stunning to me, so shocking. I had all of these emotions when I looked at this portrait, and I thought, oh gosh, I would want that. I want that in my house. It's so gorgeous. Explain to me. And you talked to me about that painting that we saw, that photo rather. And
the Tyler Shields piece.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was a Tyler Shields piece, and you explained it to me, and you were like, I can get away with this because I think it's powerful. I think that we should all understand what this means. And you had it in full display. And at that moment, you had my attention. Suffice to say, your son ended up helping me get 2 of those Tyler Shields pieces, smaller versions, but I ended up purchasing 2.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
Tyler Shields was a good mentor to my son, Jake, who's a great photographer, a creative producer, and does real estate. I'm very talented. He's a little shy, but he's the thoroughbred. I'm so proud of him, so proud of all my kids. But yeah, that piece, I remember when I bought that piece from Tyler Shields. It's very provocative. And I showed it at that time to my adopted dad, Senator Harry Reid. And he goes, I hope that's not hanging in your new house or office. And I'm like, no, Dad. like Dennis the Menace, because it is so provocative, and he's Mormon. And I was like, no. I told a little white lie that no, it's actually in my house and in my office. And no, it's meaningful to me because I like to see people's reaction, because I am unabashed, I'm unapologetic, and authentic, but warm and compassionate, because to me, I get to see who I'm dealing with when people look at that. And I like to, yeah, I like to see people's reactions to certain things. It'd be silly.
Same reaction in my house. It's in my office, and I can tell how people feel about it, or I can tell what lies have been told, or what hard truths are being ignored. No pun intended. And I'm like, this is really beautiful. So from that moment on, I say all that to say, you just described yourself perfectly, but I say all that to say that just from that moment on, there was a connection. And I was like, okay, he might be all right with me. He might be a little too much, but he's all right with me. Like, you were at that moment, and that's just an old school saying that I get from my family in the South. You're all right with me, which means you're more than all right with me. Like, we're good.
You and I hit it off. We spent the day together.
Yeah.
And we flew to Las Vegas to go do this, and we just had such a beautiful time. And we were teasing Bill because he could not admit he's like the R word, the Republican.
The R word.
I mean, he's a cool dude, but he worked for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I could make him skittish.
Mm-hmm.
He's like saying, "Oh, I'm an independent." I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's like Dana White telling me he's not political.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have no interest in politics. Yeah.
He tried that on me one time too.
Yeah.
Dana White, I went to a UFC fight when I was in charge of the athletic commission.
You sure?
We're going to
Vegas.
talk about sports in a minute because this is your world and I want to hear more about this. I remember I was in charge of the athletic commission and President Trump came to a UFC event. He was no longer president. Biden was.
I remember.
And I went up to him. My security team was very nervous about me confronting him. And
Yeah.
I have a past relationship with him.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to do the Las Vegas Tower together, and I said I couldn't do it for many reasons. I'm positive he's negative. I have values. He doesn't. I have integrity. He doesn't.
The
I
list goes
actually
on.
pay my contractors quick. He never pays his contractors. And it's just, I have a heart and I have integrity, and he just lies and denies. But so I just, I don't have any fear. So I went to go say hi to be diplomatic and be thankful that he was there.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he said, "Do you like doing this job?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's great. We've improved athletics. We've, brought in these great fights into Nevada. It's a world-class sport. And UFC was great." And I said, "Mr. President, there's one thing I do know tonight." He goes, "What's that, Cloobeck?" I go, "You will hear my name announced in the ring and we won't hear yours." And Dana White got so pissed at me.
Did he really? Oh, that's funny.
Dana was like, "Hey, I'm not really a Republican." I'm like,
Can I say something about Dana?
"Yeah,
I know Dana.
yeah."
And
I
Dana
do too.
has-
I signed his license.
He's always been very kind to me.
He's
and I
a
have,
great guy.
He's a good guy. And
We tease
I
each
have
other.
asked him all the time, tell me about this relationship. Before Trump was in office the second time, I said, tell me about this relationship. Why do you like him so much? This is what I've asked him. I'm very curious because I genuinely, as a journalist, curious about why people move that way. I don't want to pick away or pick apart the person you admire. So I want to know, what is it about the fact that you and I can connect and have a conversation, and you also at the same time, he and I, because I respect a lot of things that Dana does, a lot of things I don't respect that he does. But he told me in his own way, yeah, sure, I'm open to discussing it. I'm not ashamed of what he stands for and what I like. And I see why he likes him. I don't,
What did he say to you? Why does he admire him so
He
much?
thinks he is a great businessman. He thinks he's a boss. I think that's very important for men, especially when you're looking for leadership. And quite frankly, a lot of the white men in the world didn't feel like they had a place. The president gives a lot of white men who felt displaced a place. They feel like their voices can be heard. They can relate to his for lack of a better word, machismo, right? He's this tough guy, and they like that. They respect that. It's hard earned. They feel like there's power and leadership there. And people, I hear it all the time from all sorts of men. Black men, white men, purple men. Like, I not understand, but I can see why they say he gives us a place to go. I don't feel disenfranchised. You don't see that with the Democratic Party. You don't feel as if you belong with that party. And sadly, I think, the Democratic Party has become something where we're looking for real leaders to step up soon. And I am saying this as a woman who is not registered either way. But if I had to vote, obviously, I would lean more towards the side of justice for me and marginalized people. And that would not be, in this stance, a Republican. But I am so sad that for whatever reasons, the party feels off track and there doesn't feel as if there is a leader. And I want a leader. I want to see some real, if we have two options and I have to choose between lesser two evils, obviously I'm not voting for Trump because I don't believe in what he stands for, but I'm looking for leadership.
Well, hello.
Hello. That's why I turn to you. We're looking for leadership.
Well, look, and the difference is everyone matters with me.
Yeah.
I'm a busboy.
Yeah.
I serve. He likes to be served.
Correct.
But I got brass balls.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to poke him because California needs a fighter. And, you know, I've been around politics and policy my whole life, but I stand up and take care of people. I'm a protector. I am that badass. And, you know, but I have a big heart.
Mm-hmm.
I take care of people and I see everyone as everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't like about what he does, and it's so easy to critique, because I watch what he's doing and I'm like, I wouldn't do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I like the leadership and the strength, but drop the mic, dude. It's like he doesn't know when to drop the mic.
Oh, no. No.
And I'm more interested in no pride of authorship. He wants all pride of authorship.
But this hasn't changed since he has been forward facing in any perspective in real estate and business. The Apprentice, the television show. My very first real television job was in West Palm Beach, Florida. And he would let us, come to Mar-a-Lago and film him so we could talk about The Apprentice. It's never not been this way. I think that he has found a base and he's weaponized hatred and anger and frustration and everyone.
Do you know where I believe that comes from?
Everyone's angry though.
No, but, well, it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't.
And
No.
I believe there is a higher, better way. And
Don't we all?
I've been around politics policy 39 years, but I understand what motivates him, and what motivates me is the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's I'm a protector. I want to see everyone aspire.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think that he is favored and or in office and or beloved and people are blind to whatever mistakes he may make?
Because the Democrats have lost their way. When I grew up in Southern California, okay, and I know you did too, and I want to talk about that. We both grew up in the Valley.
Yeah.
Well, you in the San Gabriel Valley, and me
Yeah.
in the San Fernando Valley. It's the Valley. We're Valley kids.
Yeah.
And our little valleys are larger than most states.
Yeah. True.
But we grew up in this great cultural environment in Southern California where we aspired. I mean, when you were growing up and when I was growing up, I never thought I'd be doing what I have done. But we were given this great, beautiful cultural environment where there was great education. There was just a great vibe in Southern California. Everyone wanted to live in Southern California. Everyone wanted to live in California.
Yeah.
Because California is a country.
It's beautiful.
Got 58 counties.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Democratic Party lost its way.
What do you mean by that? Every time I talk to a Democrat in leadership and or assuming to be in leadership, I go, when did you lose your way? When did the party lose its way? I need specifics because that's the only way we can get to the solution.
Okay, well, I've been 39 years involved. Quite a bit of time, even though I'm a child. Or act like a child every day. And at least my kids remind me every day. My friends remind me. It's like, you're such a child, Stephen. And no, but I've had all these great experiences and I've traveled the world. And we have to have collaboration. Collaboration is really important to me. Integrity.
Sure.
Collaboration. These are hard truths. And we forgot to collaborate. And we started to get noisy on both sides instead of having that hard center where we can go a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. So I grew up on a cul-de-sac. And you had to turn left to get on the cul-de-sac uniquely. What happens when you get to the end of a cul-de-sac?
Gotta turn around.
You got to turn around. So when you do that, and in my particular instance, you got to turn right.
Yeah.
Which is the right answer. And I'm a Californian.
Are you saying that the party became very loose and didn't really have any definition, and there were no defined ways in which the party wanted to move?
they forgot what it's like to make a payroll and create jobs. And they started to become purists instead of being and living in the real world of what it's like to put food on the table, to have children that are educated well and that value those important principles. And they started to demonize that. What is wrong with having aspiration? Look at you.
Nothing. I think
You grew up, it's interesting. You grew up in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Pasadena? You had Altadena, you got Pasadena.
Sure.
But wasn't Pasadena redlined?
Yeah, Altadena was probably where most of the black families lived. We lived in Pasadena. Altadena was the way in which a lot of African American families that migrated from the South came to the West, and that was their way to build their fortune. Obviously for people who don't own a home and people who are first generation homeowners or first time homeowners, that is your opportunity to wealth and or some sort of security. And Altadena provided that for a lot of black families. I think we lived in Pasadena. My mother never owned a home. I own a home now. And I think that to me was a breakthrough of what it could be. This is what I think happened when I look at the Democratic Party. I think it became a party of elites. I think the only thing that was instilled in me was to go to school and get a good education. It wasn't about helping your neighbor, your next door neighbor, making sure everybody was taken care of. It was about getting an education and taking care of yourself. And if you do that, America will live up to its promise. We did the hard work. Martin Luther King Jr. and during the Civil Rights Movement did the hard work. The way that we were educated in this country would make you think racism was over when Martin Luther King Jr. Passed away, when he was murdered and assassinated. They were like, okay, racism is over. So now you all have made it. And we just lost, to me, the party had lost its way because there weren't those same values to still fight for what is right, but keep the main thing and be okay with saying these hard truths. I don't think the Democratic Party should be the party for everybody. I think that a lot of people were too busy playing politics and not saying what they wanted, and people got fed up with it. And now I look around, and even as a contributor on CNN, I listen to the words that are being used. I listen to the marketing from the Republican Party, and it's quite frankly genius. If you tell me that there are a ton of trans athletes trying to play girls' sports, I'm up in arms. And that's not even a real thing. There are over 10,000 NCAA college athletes.
Yep.
Maybe a dozen might be trans.
Right.
Not a real issue. However, while it's not a real issue and they're making it an issue, what is the solution? If I was running for office and I was a Democrat, I'd try to find a solution because it will be an issue. But if you say, oh, no, we don't mind, and no, we don't mind, there are people. I just had dinner, a small example, with my best friend. She was married to a top 10 athlete. He's already a Hall of Famer. They have 2 girls. They play volleyball. I say this, she is a brown woman. She's a Mexican-American woman. Her family came here, did all the things. She fits all the stuff. Check, 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 check. Her kids are genetically, have a predisposition to be excellent because of who their father was. She goes, I don't think if I had children, I'd say this out loud, but I don't want trans girls playing sports with my daughter. I don't think it's fair. I would never say that out loud because people would think I'm discriminating and people would think that I'm being unfair. And I am a Mexican woman born in this country, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm being unfair. And she said, right now, the Democratic Party can't even say what I'm saying because they are embarrassed to say it out loud because they have made themselves the party of everybody, and they feel like they can't say no. They can't do what you say they should be doing and talk about these hard truths. This is her point of view.
Okay, so the Democratic Party, in my opinion, has allowed the less than 1% control the message of
Correct.
the mass. And that's what had changed. Okay, look, I believe in a better climate for the children. I want my children to live in a great,
We all do.
healthy world.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to mandate EV cars. I mean, look.
It's too much.
I'm also not gonna allow our money, because unfortunately the politicians that we've elected thinks that their money They forgot about it's our money and it's our rights because we're a proposition state. We got to take it back over. Mm-hmm. And these are hard truths. I mean, they think they're smarter. They're not. And it's not their money. Why would we fight a lawsuit that we know we're going to lose when I know there are farm workers that have to go to a food bank because they don't have enough money for food? In what world do farm workers need to go to a food bank? And we're blowing $200-300 million on a losing lawsuit?
We're in a bad space.
Well, that's why I'm here to fix it. And I didn't intend to get involved. But if I don't, who will? If you don't, who will?
Yeah.
You're willing to say some things.
I'm uncomfortable saying some things, but I'm willing to say some things because I can't help it. It's in my DNA. I wish I could be quiet. I wish I could not say something.
No, but you are also, like me, unapologetically authentic. And we need more of this. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm going to make it okay here.
Yeah.
This is a safe space.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Sure.
Because you know what? When we do it with love, and this is the difference, this is why we can kick Donald's ass. Because he was trained by Roy Cohn, who lies and denies.
Okay.
You got to look at how a person was trained. Who were their mentors? So
okay. So let me be clear. I am completely disappointed on both sides. I am disappointed. And if someone does come around, this is what my girlfriend calls this right now. And if, as a journalist, she goes, this is wartime journalism. We are living in a world where journalists are afraid to speak truth. I watched Scott Pelley give a commencement speech. He refused to mention Donald Trump's name, but we all knew what he was talking about. And the reason why he couldn't mention his name was because his company's being sued by Donald Trump for $60 million.
Well, that's intimidation and that's mafia-esque
and that's
behavior.
What the temperature is now for people who are supposed to be the truth seekers and tell the truth. That is the temperature for the people who are these elected officials. Everyone is afraid of the fear, the power, the money. And that's why we're in a bad space. Well, so if you're here to speak the truth and get uncomfortable, that's what people are asking for.
Well, I'm not getting uncomfortable.
Well, they might get uncomfortable.
Others may get uncomfortable. But they're thinking they're thinking what I'm saying.
Sure.
They're just afraid to say it. I'm not, because I'm comfortable with it, because it's actually the right answer, because I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Sure.
Just rolling up my sleeves and I'm saying enough. Because I'm worried about my children's future and everyone else's children's future. And if I don't do this, then I'm not doing my part.
Sure.
And when my friends said to me, you're crazy. What are you doing this for? Your life's great. I go, because you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do it. And you know what? I'll go out there because I'm good. I'm going to say these hard truths. And, look, when it comes to sports and what you talked about, I took biology. I was going to be a surgeon, and I took genetics. And XX is XX and XY is XY. And when you say that, it's not competitive. It's not competitive. And I don't want to get hurt. When I was in charge of boxing and UFC, we always made sure it was a fair fight. Fair fight. No one was doing drugs. There were no enhancements.
A fair fight.
Fair fight.
You want a fair fight.
Fair fight. And if you're a good athlete, you should only want a fair fight. So otherwise, why would you want to compete if you know it's not going to be a competitive fight and you have some type of advantage?
I just wish there was someone who said, let's talk about the humanity of it. While I don't think it's, and we recently had that incident in Northern California.
In Clovis. Yeah.
I wish someone said, listen, we haven't figured this out. We're trying to figure this out, because I give them credit. They tried to figure it out, and I thought that was great. I thought, okay, let's find some happy compromise. But in the process, we're forgetting about the human. There's still a young teenager being criticized and harassed and being treated poorly by people who feel like they're protesting the right way. Instead of protesting policy, they're protesting this kid. And I'm like, this person's still a kid. This child is still a child. And the big thing that I think a lot of politicians are missing, and these people who are angry, whether it be right or left, the humanity of it all.
So I've got concept. Can we bring back sanity and humanity?
Can we bring that back?
sanity, and humanity.
So
How simple is this?
So simple.
Right, all these things. But even in California, when I did my due diligence in California, because of my experience, and everyone wants to do policy papers that are 30 and 50 pages long, it's bullshit. How about simple solutions? We can fix the affordability crisis. I know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to fix the homeless crisis because I've been involved in building. I've been involved in charities with the homeless crisis. I know how to solve the entertainment crisis in California.
How do you solve that? Tell me why we bring Hollywood back. If you're running for office, make it super simple.
We're making an
easy.
investment in Hollywood. We're not giving tax incentives to anyone. Okay. We forgot this great export. We did not invest in this export. We allowed it to be taken away.
Yeah.
And now we have to be competitive, and we can
I agree.
using our GDP of the state and investing in. We're not giving tax incentives to anybody. We're investing in. We're investing in agriculture. We're investing in innovation. We're investing in manufacturing. We're investing in travel and tourism because we all benefit because we're customers of California.
And I want to be clear. I love that you're specifically talking about the state. I am going to always, this is my home state. I'm always going to be a fan of protecting the state and making sure that there's a purity here that I grew up in and that you grew up in, and that's why we love it. There's a difference between meeting someone, I really truly believe this, born and raised in Southern California, versus meeting someone who was born and raised in another part of the United States of America. I don't think, and I have this conversation often, the people that I know who are from here, from LA, even making it that simple, really down to earth, really easy, very like, come one, come all. It is a very carefree approach. I live in New York now. There is a clear difference. There's a carefree approach.
I couldn't live in New York. I mean,
it's too much. It's too much for a lot of people. It's too much.
I would go to New York. I have PTSD from being in New York. I got PTSD. No, because I had to. First of all, I grew up here. I did not even go to the East Coast till I went to college in Boston, and that was an adjustment. And then I went to New York. But then I went to New York for business.
That's where you go.
And all I know, I'm just like walking up down Park Avenue begging for money, getting a lot of no's. So I got PTSD being in New York. But growing up on the Strip in Las Vegas too, that's the Middle East. No, you think you make it in New York, you make it on the Strip in Las Vegas. You want combat. That's full on combat.
I know nothing about it.
But I grew up with we have Southern California values. We got California values, and it's so unique.
It's so unique.
It's so unique, and I tell you, all over the world, this is the best place in the world.
I agree.
We had such and I want to bring that back where we are the bully pulpit of the United States, and as California goes, the rest of the United States follows. We just lost it. We let it go. We let it go because I think we took it for granted.
Of course.
And it was taken away.
Yeah.
Because they said, oh, they're not paying attention.
Yeah. I'm about to go be in a new relationship, and I'm going to go, and y'all don't deserve me. I'm going to go put on a little black dress and go find me a new boo. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, exact same thing. You
got a new boo?
No, I'm in theory. California went.
So what's going on? So what's going on?
Nothing.
You got a new guy?
We did not come to talk about my boos, did we? Did we come to talk about this?
I don't know.
Do you have a new boo?
No. You know what my new boo is?
Yeah. Work.
Fighting for California.
I love it.
That's my new boo.
That's all you need to do. That's all you need right now.
That's my boo. I'm fighting for California.
My advice to you, stay single and continue to fight for California.
Stand straight.
Just try your best.
I know. I'm going to kick ass.
Mabel's helping.
Yeah, she's helping. My Mabel's getting married at the end of the year.
Oh, boy.
I'm walking her down there. I'm so proud
of that.
How you feeling?
Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling good about it.
Okay. Are you sad?
No, I'm thrilled.
Okay.
I've got 2 kids now. I've got one getting married at the end of the year, and I got another one that's going to get engaged, and I'm actually good with it. I thought I was going to freak out about this.
Yeah.
But I'm actually good with it.
I want to say this about you. I think that if people don't get a moment to understand you, that they will have different preconceived notions, and I know that because I experienced that. But your heart is so very big in general to people you do not know. You did not know me. and you'll say, hey, I can do this for you. Do you need that? I'll help you with that. Do you want to come here? You want to do that? You're very giving in ways that I think are not normal because people are always thinking there is more to it. I love the idea of someone with that type of heart. Even when we first met and we wanted to do the show about helping other people and being not necessarily undercover boss, but more of the person who's like, oh, you need this to help your business? Well, then why don't I give you $30,000 to get out of debt? Like that was the idea of this show that you and I were initially trying to do during COVID. Shout out to Jason Kennedy. And that's generally who you are. And so for me, someone having that type of heart, a servant's heart, service heart, I think that's what we need. But we also truly need people to make it plain. Donald Trump has taken the language of politics out of it. So as I sit here and talk to you, I'm telling you, make it plain. There's no more dancing around what the policy is. If you don't like something, I don't like it. I think that's bull. I think it should be this. Don't politic talk me because I don't want to hear it because I'm not going to believe you. I'm speaking as someone who is a constituent, but I'm also speaking as someone who has done the work, who's talked to these people on the streets, who explain why they voted for Donald Trump. He made it real plain. And I think that's the problem with politicians now. They don't make it plain. They don't make it simple. The first time I ever really thought, oh, I love me some Gavin Newsom was when he was like, I will never work for Donald Trump. I was like, well, talk your shit. Like, I need to hear that in this climate.
Yeah, well, it's
you can't talk business to me and think I understand you.
No, I get it. It's really simple. I will make your world more affordable, livable, and workable. I will protect you. I will always tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I believe that.
I will always tell you the truth. And sometimes it's hard. And I'm going to make sure that everyone's protected. And like we're dealing with like the National Guard coming into California. And I called up the governor and I'm like, Gov, this is your National Guard. Would you tell Donald to get the fuck out of our state? That's not his. Stay out of our state. Mm-hmm. We're country, pal. Mm-hmm. Don't push us around.
The last time the National Guard was sent in at the president's request without that state's governor requiring it was in 1965. And that was during a time in which they were trying to desegregate schools, universities in the South. What happened in California didn't even equal what happened in the South. And so that's when I appreciated
we don't
Governor
have
Newsom.
leadership in this state that's protecting us.
I don't know how you get past, I'm not a politician. I don't know how you get past Donald Trump and the fear of what could happen if you go against him.
What you do is you have a leader that he respects.
Who would that be?
You're sitting right next to him.
So, okay, we'll talk your shit because I want to know who he respects, if anyone.
It's really simple. I just say, knock it off. Get the fuck out of our state.
That's the language we need.
It's really simple.
That's the language we need.
Okay, we're California.
That's the language we need.
It's like we're here. Mm-hmm. You need us more than we need you, but guess what? We got to work together because we got $94 billion that we're contributing to you. So you think we got to kiss your ring? Why don't you come kiss our ring?
I wish, and if leadership across the country did that, we'd see a whole different world, which I think maybe the tide might be turning.
And it comes with love and respect.
Yeah,
I
but
said,
the tide might be
don't get me
turning.
wrong. I just say, knock it the fuck off, Donald. Just enough.
Can that be the name of this podcast?
Go sit on your gold toilets, okay, and have somebody bring you goddamn McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because you must be on that toilet a lot if you're eating McDonald's all the time. And I just don't, I'm not eating McDonald's.
You don't eat McDonald's?
I did. I love it.
When was the last time you had McDonald's?
I'm into heavy-handed now.
I'm sorry?
Studio City. It's a good burger.
I've never had it.
I'm into burgers. Tommy's too.
Okay, but remember that time we ate, what did we eat?
Barbecue.
In Vegas?
Oh, no, we did fried chicken.
Was it was KFC or something? No, what was it?
No, Popeyes.
Okay.
No, that's my go-to.
Okay.
Taco Bell, Popeyes.
Okay, I remember.
No.
But you don't eat McDonald's. I have a hard time believing that.
French fries are really, really good.
Yeah, how could you?
French fries are great.
Don't be above it. Let's come together on this one.
I'm not above it.
Let's just come across the aisle. We all like McDonald's.
All right. Double quarter pounder with cheese.
I mean,
okay?
come on. I like a fillet of fish. I can't really criticize them for liking McDonald's.
We had to have that on Fridays in school.
Fillet of fish?
I went to an Episcopalian prep school.
And they gave you fillet of fish?
We had to eat fish on Fridays.
Fillet of fish? Or just a fish sandwich?
It was a fish sandwich.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But we did have at Meadow Oaks when I went in Woodland Hills.
This is important.
We had Taco Bell on Wednesday. That
This
was
is important.
Taco Bell. But on Fridays,
Yeah.
we got McDonald's.
What's your favorite fast food from? Is it if you had a choice between In-N-Out and Del Taco? Two different. Oh wait, let's just keep it burgers. Taco Bell, Del Taco. Where would you go?
Taco Bell.
I don't know. What would you get?
12 pack.
A 12-pack of what?
Crunchy tacos. Come on.
With chicken or with beef?
Beef.
Beef.
Don't mess it up.
Okay. Jack in the Box tacos. Do you like those?
The mini tacos are good. But that's
They're
about
really
it.
great.
Really late at night.
Yeah, but those are really good. Okay.
No, but
In-N-Out McDonald's. In-N-Out Fat Burger.
Oh, In-N-Out, please.
Over Fat Burger?
100%.
Oh, stop. This is crazy. This is blasphemous. I can't even continue on.
Heavy
Is the
Handed is
podcast
the best
over?
Studio City. Heavy Handed.
I don't even know what Heavy
I've
Handed.
been on
I'm
the hunt
familiar.
for the best burger.
Okay.
Heavy Handed, Studio City,
Okay.
Tallow Fries, Rock.
Okay.
And
All right.
fried chicken.
I'm a
big
Popeyes. I love Popeyes.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I love Popeyes.
Now, are you
I can't-
spicy? Are you spicy or original?
It just depends. I go back and forth. It depends
You
on the
want
mood that I'm
mixed?
in.
You
Yeah,
get
it just
mixed?
depends. It just depends on my mood. I will tell you though.
What?
I just came back from Portugal.
All right.
I have a confession.
Where in Portugal?
I was in Lisbon, and they have allegedly the most beautiful McDonald's. It's considered the most beautiful. It's a true story. Google it. They allegedly have the most beautiful McDonald's. One of the folks I was traveling with made us go to this McDonald's, and I've never seen anything more elegant. It was something it felt like it was something out of the 30s. It was gorgeous. It
It's
was
a bougie
like,
McDonald's.
it was, well, I mean, I don't know how bougie
What did
it
they
can be.
call a Big Mac?
El Big Mac. No, it was just a Big Mac. And then
They did not have.
It was a Big Mac. It said Big Mac. People come there for the American experience.
What do they call a Big Mac in Paris?
I don't know. I haven't been to McDonald's in Paris, but I have been to Paris.
I think it's called El Royale.
Okay, can I say something? Back to the chicken.
Yeah.
They offer chicken at this McDonald's. And
What kind of chicken?
It was chicken wings. Dare I say it might be better than Popeyes.
No.
Okay. I don't want to fight. Have you been to Lisbon?
Yes, I operated.
Have you been to this McDonald's?
No, but
Okay.
I've operated resorts in Portugal.
Well, you haven't been to McDonald's in Lisbon. So
I have not.
I'm the expert here, sir.
That's usually like my
Those
three.
those chicken.
I'm usually like a 3
Those
a.m.
wings were fire.
3 a.m. I like order things.
Oh
like,
no! I can't do that.
I
and
do
you
it.
can't do that anymore either, since you're
No,
going to
I'm
be the
not doing
governor
it
of
anymore.
California.
But I've
Yeah,
done it.
got to have the heart. You got to
I'm
do it
into
during
my
the day.
longevity now.
You got to eat.
I'm going to
fast
ask
food
you a
during the
question.
day.
This is a question I want to know. So,
I know. What are we talking about?
No, but no. Listen. No, this is important. This is important. So you grew up to be a journalist.
Yes.
Be a journalist. You grew up with a mom and dad.
I grew up in a single parent household.
Yeah.
My dad and I were not close until I probably graduated from high school. He was in and out of my life.
Yeah.
My mother raised me, and I wanted to be a reporter when I saw this woman on the TV one day. Well, two women. One woman was a local anchor here on ABC News. And I think her name might have been Angela Black at the time. I can't really remember, but I remember saying, this woman looks familiar. And then sometime later, I saw this other woman who was an African-American woman who had so much power. Like, I walked past the television and she was on and talking, and I just stopped and stared at her. You may have heard of her. Her name is Oprah. And so when
Who?
Oprah Winfrey, are you familiar?
No.
Yeah, she's kind of famous. And when I saw her on TV, I was like, I want to
What's
do
she do?
that. Well, she talks for a living. She's not so much anymore. She's a billionaire, and she travels and drinks tequila, and she pops around with her best girlfriend Gail, and they go to different events and they surprise people. Just, but before that, she did some things.
I
Have
met
you heard
this
of it?
guy that she's kind of hooked up with.
Oh, which one?
Stedman.
I heard of him too. He's good. And so that's why I wanted
He's
to be.
cool, too.
Yeah, I've never met Stedman, actually. I love Stedman for being with Oprah forever, because I couldn't even imagine that relationship. But she was the reason I wanted to be on air.
He does psychological work.
Yes, he has to. He's a very cerebral man. He has to be extremely intelligent, especially to be with someone like Oprah and have such a good sense of self because of all that she is. And I love that they keep their relationship private. Like, I love that about them.
And to be able to do that.
It's unheard of. unheard of.
She's an epic woman.
Epic.
I mean, epic. So
Epic.
that was your idol.
She
or
was
one
my
of them. You had
and it wasn't so much that she was Oprah, because she wasn't Oprah at the time.
Right.
It was so much her authenticity, which is why people used to press her to run for office. She was so authentic. Her weight battles, her issues with her mother, her family betraying her as she rose, to the highest of levels. She put it all out there, and we were going through the emotions with her. And there is something to be said for authenticity. Everybody can't do it, but she managed it so well. And
because she's not afraid.
she wasn't afraid
You're
or
not
naive. Or she was also naive. She was also naivete is it's a strong thing that you should think about. It really is helpful.
You know what? I buy it because I have been naive at times because I'll do some crazy ass shit.
And it helps you.
And, fortunately it's worked more times than it's not.
Correct.
But it also allows you to learn how to pivot quick.
Correct.
And, she's what's so great about Oprah is she's about service. It's so real. And I just so love what she does because it is real. It's just, she's thrown out car keys to people. And I relate to that. And, she wants people's lives to be better. And she gets the energy as I do. When I see others do well, I get that energy, which is so opposite of, Donald Duck. And the way he operates is just me. It's just, I just want everyone to do well. I don't need anything. Okay. What gives me just so much happiness is just to see others aspire. I mean, I want your career to be great. I want all my friends' career. I want all my friends to do well.
Yeah.
That's all I care about in life.
I believe
Today, I want all the kids to do well. I want to teach them and just watch their success.
Authenticity, which you have. Honesty, which I would assume, I'm going to talk to Mabel about this later, you have as well. And I think that as you put yourself out there, you admit all the things you've done right, but more importantly, all the things you've done wrong.
Oh, I'm not a perfect guy. None of us
Shocking.
are. Shocking.
Wow. Are you kidding? Let me write that down. I didn't know that. Of course, I know it's perfect. And that's what we love. I want to know it's messy. I want to know that you figured it out when it wasn't messy. And then I also want you to speak plain. That's it. Success, key to success.
100%. And I know there is a pathway to it. And we're going to try to break through that.
Yeah.
Where we can get to a point where we can have non-vitriolic language with each other. But learn, because you know what? I will never know what it's like to grow up in Pasadena as a black woman.
Ever.
Unless I talk to you and ask.
Unless you ask. Here's the thing. I think that what we forget is that, and I'm not giving anybody credit because I think I have empathy for everybody just because I am a marginalized person. But people will look and say, oh, you've made it. You're successful. You're not marginalized. But I immediately know what it feels like to be overlooked, not heard, and or seen. And it is not, race isn't something that is a convenient thing for me. I deal with it when I walk in a room, when I meet people, when I say hello. That's the first thing you see. You see my race and my gender. And for people who are, heterosexual white males, they don't have that issue. Race is something that they could either pay attention to or not pay attention to. If it's inconvenient for the day, they don't need to talk about it. So when I see people who are genuinely trying to make a difference and not ignoring the plight of humanity, I feel as if I want to pay attention. And I think that most people agree with that in our country. And right now, we need, and what I'm seeing, so if I am working and I'm sitting next to Scott Jennings, that oftentimes happens when I do CNN, and I know for a fact, in my heart of hearts, I know he knows what I'm talking about. But if it's inconvenient for his party, for him, for anyone else, they don't want to pay attention to it. And so I just would love to take whatever this inconvenience is that people feel like they don't have to talk about or they are exhausted from hearing. I would love for someone to be able to say, I'm taking up that mantle. I want to talk about it. I want to do the work. And I don't want them to look like me. I'm tired.
You know what I want? I want you to do well and everyone else to do well.
Why the hell do you think I'm sitting here? I 1,000% believe that.
I'm at the point in my life where I just want to give.
Yeah.
And just help everyone.
Yeah.
help everyone out, and just have everyone do well. And I'll go fight that goddamn fight for anybody and protect. I will go run in the fire and save. I will cook whatever meal you want. I will serve it to you and make sure we have a good dinner and clean the plate. And I will have fun doing it. I will sweep the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with it.
Gotta do
like
all the
it.
jobs. Gotta do all the jobs.
I can do any job. I'm
gotta
not
do all of
afraid
them.
to do all those jobs. And I've tried to teach my children today, I'm going to have to make you fight a little bit too. I am not just going to be that cool dad that just gives you everything. You're going to have to work for it. You show up early, you stay late, you go to work with a runny nose. No mental health day, pal. Sorry. Get your ass out of bed.
Don't tell this generation that.
Well, no, bullshit. That's the problem because we did it to them. And I won't allow it.
Yeah.
I get in fights with my friends. I said, what is wrong with you? Would you kick your kid's ass?
I honestly, if I look at where we are with the country, and I'm not blaming generations, I honestly believe this history repeats itself. And it's just time to burn it all down and build it back up. And that's just America gets what America deserves.
And yeah, we had two terrible leaders to choose from. We had two terrible leaders to choose from.
Listen, we haven't had leadership in a long time.
So it's time for new leadership and people to stand up. And the problem has been those that have been successful or have experience.
Leaders, this is.
Leaders.
Uh-huh.
They're not willing to go out there because of the paparazzi or maybe the negative press story. I don't care. I'm just like everything about me is on the internet.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm saying, when I'm trying to articulate, maybe not well, is people don't have the brass balls to just go out there and help and serve.
I just, and this is like, it's all perspective. Look who the president is. You talk about scandal. You talk about what he's been through. He ignores it. I will say this. When you talk about the journalism that you grew up with, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this so publicly done in our faces.
Can we all,
so we don't know how to address it. All of this is
how about
new.
it's all new. Then why don't we aggressively call bullshit on our Constitution, the Emoluments Clause, and say
journalists? I agree with what you're saying.
Who
Sure.
aggressively is saying, okay, Trump, no, you can't have your names on buildings. No,
Nobody.
You can't sell cell phones.
Nobody.
No, you can't sell sneakers.
Nobody.
No, you can't have cryptocurrency. Blind trust. And where the fuck are your tax returns?
So
And by the way, have you ever paid taxes?
never. I am in agreement with you, but what I want to be very clear about, the journalism that you grew up with may have felt different, but they weren't dealing with leaders like Donald Trump.
So why don't you aggressively call them out?
And the reason why, as I mentioned earlier, why people aren't calling out Donald Trump, because he's suing these companies and winning, and people are capitulating to his power. The board of directors, the people who are the bosses, and they are making it very difficult for people who are employed by them to do their job. Journalists, yes, we're going to see some great journalism, and yes, we'll see moments where people really show us the truth. I think what Jake Tapper did in telling us how they covered up what was going on with Joe Biden was amazing journalism, and people were afraid to do it. But there's also going to be a majority of people who work in front of the camera who are just talking heads because they are employed by people who are saying, don't go too hard on Donald. I don't want his wrath coming down on our company. I don't want him to sue us. We're watching these companies fold and capitulate and give him hundreds and millions of dollars to leave them alone. It is almost impossible to do great journalism when your boss is paying the president of the United States to go away and not bother you. I think, and I'm not saying that anybody is good for what they're doing. That's why you're seeing a lot of journalists who were linear, forward-facing, big market journalists doing small things now. Like they're doing their Substack, they're doing YouTube. They are taking away they're taking it away from these big networks, and they're creating their own, because this is the only way that they can speak truth to power and not be intimidated by their bosses or the board of directors or stockholders or whoever is trying to control the narrative. And we're going to see more of that. So the journalism that you're familiar with is just a new type of journalism. It's just not that traditional sit in front
I know
of the TV.
nobody knows what Substack means. Why don't you tell people what Substack means? Because
Everyone
I'm like,
knows Substack.
no, they do not.
No, Substack is a blog where it's essentially a vlog where you can do video, you can create your own, people subscribe, you send out a newsletter. To me, that's where I get a lot of my journalism from too. A lot of my news is from newsletters.
How do you have all the time to read all this stuff?
You don't have the time, but you make the time for things that matter. Like you're like, okay, so what is going on with this big, beautiful bill? What's going on with Doge? There are things that you just want to be informed about because it does, and it'll ultimately come to your front door.
But don't you have to then pay attention to who's writing it and what
100%.
is their purpose?
Which is why the same way that I consume CNN, I consume Fox News. The same way that I follow conservative bloggers, I follow people who are not conservative. I think right now, because there are no checks and balances and people don't believe in the truth anymore, I could read something, I'm like, this doesn't sound truthful, but I just continue. You have to research. I think everyday citizens who are not journalists have to be journalists. You have to determine what's true or what's not true. That's literally what we're doing right now, which is why, to me, when you are running for office, anybody can say anything about you. With AI, they could say you did this and it's not true. You're going to have to really, truly, and that is what I've noticed, what made Donald so successful. He stopped caring about conservative journalism, traditional journalism. He went to all of the podcasts and he talked to his bros and he sent a message out and the bros were happy and the bros sent that message out and it took over. Before it finally got to us, it had been seen over, I don't know, I would guess upwards of 15 million times before it came to the simple people at CNN and we're just sitting there talking about it. It had been all over the internet all day long and the truth or whatever version of the truth had already been out there. And that is because he made it plain. He knew who to go to. It was strategic. I am saying to the Democratic Party, find the same way. You have a podcast, you're answering the call, but make sure you're getting out to your version of the bros or create your version of the bros and you control the narrative and you tell the truth. You don't rely on what I do anymore because you can't. There's too many talking heads. Like, I'm not saying like what I'm doing is not important, but what I am saying is that I know that people are taking advantage of this time and creating their own networks, creating their own blogs, their own narratives to combat what's happening. There is a different type of journalism. It's not what we're used to, and we got to get familiar with it and understand it.
That's a great explanation because I was trying to explain this to a lot of people, and you just did it for me.
Well, great. We'll move it there. We're done. We're done with that.
We're done with that. So let me ask you a question. So it's a question I ask everyone. It's an important question because I have thought about this.
Okay.
If you had one day with somebody who's no longer here on planet Earth.
Oh.
No, one day. I want you to think about this. This is important. It could be Socrates. It could be Aristotle, George Washington, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Bill Clinton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. This is sports.
Mm-hmm.
Who is not here? Elgin Baylor. I met Elgin Baylor. I met Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was a friend of mine.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
You guys hang out together?
Not in that way,
yeah,
but
okay.
I was a little boy,
okay,
so I was I didn't even understand what he was up to. But
Yeah.
he had a whole.
You're like, well, he was the man.
He was no. You know what? He was kind to me.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Just a little Jewish boy.
Yeah, I like it.
And he was just nice to me all the time. It was just.
That's nice.
He was a legend, and I met Ernie Banks.
Mm.
My dad had my dad was a big sports guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a sports guy.
You're not?
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
I ran the athletic commission. I'm not a sports guy.
Well, maybe
that's
adjacent.
Maybe that's why I put my finger in Dustin Poirier's chest one night. And I didn't even know who he was. That was kind of silly.
I love it.
He's the guy who kicked McGregor's ass.
No, it's fine. It's completely fine.
But he did pay attention. He was being a knucklehead. He sat down that night. He was just being silly. But so one day, somebody's not here. Who would you want to spend the day with?
I've been asked this question in very different ways. And so sometimes I'll say, I wish I could talk to Jesus, but I do that anyway. So
that's good.
That is a thing. But if the mood that I have been in right now, the space that I live in right now, I would like to talk to a disruptor who at one point was considered public enemy number one, but after time went on, because time always tells your story. After time went on and they started to settle into the world and people became more aware of the world in which we lived in, that person became a hero. That happens often here in the United States of America. You can be considered public enemy number one, but if you live long enough and the world starts to reveal itself as it does, you then are a hero. And so one person that I think of, there are quite a few that I would love to spend one day with. But the one person is Muhammad Ali. He was vilified, and he was bold, and he was unapologetic, and he had something to lose. People, when they have something to lose, don't want to fight. They get quiet, but he got louder. And he, not only did he, in so many ways, even defy the Nation of Islam, he defied this country and told this country that this war wasn't right that they were in at the time and that he would not be a part of it. He lost his entire career and he had to fight his way back up. And then only when he could no longer talk did he become a hero to many people in this country. When he was affected with illness and it didn't allow him to put his words together and he couldn't really talk and all he could do was smile and laugh, he became a figure that wasn't as scary. And his words in perspective weren't as terrifying.
Did you interview him?
I've never had the opportunity. I've interviewed his daughter. I
So
wasn't.
what would you say to him? I want to know, what would you ask him, and
Why was he so fearless? Where does that come from? Why were you willing to risk it all, not knowing whether or not you could get it back? Where does that come from? I rarely meet the person who is willing to put everything they have on the line. I'm even talking about myself, my livelihood, my family.
Why?
I don't meet many people who do that.
Are you willing to do it?
No.
Why?
I'm scared.
Why?
In very many ways. I'm scared in this sense. I don't mind speaking truth to power. I don't mind. But if you said to me, Cari, you're about to be homeless, you'll never work in this business again, you won't have any rewards, your family is going to be destitute, and we're going to come after them and we're going to tear you down, I don't know if I'm ready for that fight. Willingly. Unknowingly, sure. But willingly, knowingly, writing it all down, this is the plan, I don't do that. I do it naturally. I put my foot in my mouth all the time, naturally. I say things that are considered controversial all the time, but it's an instinct. It's not a plan. It's what I'm doing. I'm talking on this podcast. I'm sure somebody will be mad at something I said here, but he was very clear and he had a plan. And very few athletes, especially at that time, especially during the 60s, they weren't speaking up. They weren't fighting against power. They were happy to finally be in the family, finally be considered, finally be in a league where people respected them, finally not be segregated. And he did it knowing everything was on the line. And there's not that many athletes that I can think of. And there's ways to go about it. Jackie Robinson would also be someone else, but I'm just saying Muhammad Ali. Jackie Robinson did it differently. But he got so fed up towards the end of his career, when I say he was a man of anger because of all of the shit that he went through, I understood why he was so angry towards the end of his career and why he was so bold and spoke out. But he had to play this role in order for us to get to a space where we understood that it was more about black and white unifying as opposed to being separate. But there are people who make these huge sacrifices knowingly, going into it, knowing that it's probably going to tear their spirit apart, probably going to break them down in ways that they can even imagine. And whether they get built back up, they wouldn't know. And Muhammad Ali, to me, justified that, exemplified that, was that.
And that I will take to heart and rock. Because I love you very much. And I'm grateful you're here.
California!